Sometimes, care lives in a pen, a symbolic badge of honor, and a comforting promise to deliver the highest quality of care to every patient. And it doesn't just live in one of our hospitals, but in all of them. As Premier Health is the only adult health system in Dayton to receive magnet recognition for nursing excellence. Our care lives here. Premier Health.
Welcome back inside the James S. Trent Arena as we continue on in date number 2. The 23rd ranked team in the country, the Huntington Prep Irish, at 14-6. Taking on the St. Ed's Eagles, ranked number 1 in the Division 1 polls by Cleveland.com. Their top 25, ranked high in the state of Ohio as well, looking to soar against the Irish. Mike Hurd and Sly Williams here for this one, and a second straight game featuring the Eagles. And we've got 2 terrific games to finish off the night of day number 2.
Should have a good one, a good one. We get to see a national team taking on one of the top teams in the state of Ohio. Should be very exciting. Huntington Prep kicked us off last night with the nightcap last night with an exciting game against Prolific Prep, even though they came up short. It's not a shortage of ballers coming out of Huntington, West Virginia.
No, there's not, and that electric baby blue on display, as we've seen so many times. St. Ed's, the white jerseys, as we get ready to go. St. Ed's number 4 in Division I in the state of Ohio, but I suspect that a possibility of a win here might sway some people before the new polls come out on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, if they beat this Huntington Prep team, the people in Ohio the voters in Ohio should take notice and hop them all the way up to the top.
Well, again, the folks at Cleveland.com have it figured out. This is a team that is coming off 20 Sweet 16s, and Eric Flannery, the head coach, does a tremendous job. A.J. Hogar with the turnover, the Michigan State commit right out of the gate.
You know, that's one thing about Hogar. You don't see that too often. Hogar is just such a heady point guard. You don't see him turning it over too much.
St. Ed's coming off a win against Lorraine last night at Lorraine, 64-51. Not an easy win for anybody. Is a 3-ball straight away for Montori Foster, the Michigan wide receiver in the future.
Love to see football players get out here and do it.
It's a skill player, too. Speaking of skills, down underneath Isaiah Cottrell, who had such a big first half a night ago on the way to 15-11 with the miss and our first foul.
Played a dominant game inside against some of those tall trees over there at Prolific Prep.
Jamin Brakefield, the senior, headed to Duke with the foul. Kind of didn't get it going right away, but he got it going late. It's all that matters. Off the
oh my goodness!
Off the 3, Devontae Blanton, 6'6" senior that they would love to have here in a 6-0 run. 54 seconds in, and look at Blanton's 3. You're not going to challenge him. Be possible Dayton Flyer is going to knock it down. Dayton, Toledo, and at home at Cleveland State University.
I think keeping his fingers crossed, all those folks down there in Dayton. Dayton making a big run now here in NCAA basketball.
Pretty much said who you got available in the state of Ohio. We're all about that. And they'll lose a handful of pieces. A rumor, obviously probably Obi Toppin. They'll lose Ryan Mikesell, who's a terrific shooter, and a handful of pieces after whatever happens this year. But you can't talk about next year in Dayton right now because the Flyer faithful, if ever you have a year, no dominant team in college basketball on the men's side, you've got a chance.
This is your year.
So Huntington Prep gets the clock stopped with a quick foul.
They could be a team possibly like Butler back in the day. Butler made that run a couple of years ago.
Just one roll away from being national champs. Down to the baseline, the up and under won't go for Cottrell as he took on 4 different Eagles and has it ripped out of his hands.
Some overrated program stole it from him.
Shout out to Daniel. And you know what's weird is a lot of coaches I know too. I don't know why that is. Christopher Ringfield with the foul, his first. Huntington Prep catch and shoot off the 3. Freeman, I don't think that hit the rim.
Not at all.
If it did, it just skimmed it all the way up and through. An 8-0 run. Grant Huffman, the Davidson signee, with 2.
They're going to like him outside of Charlotte over there in Davidson. He's one they're going to really like.
Try to make him forget about that Curry.
Yeah.
See a quick take from Desani. His shot off the front of the rim. Turn around, left-hand shot, no good. And the banks and the rims are all closed for the boys from West Virginia.
Stephen Curry was the steal of the century for Davidson.
Age-old, keep shooting threes till you miss. Montori Foster off the mark. 8-0 through the first minute and change. And down goes the defender. The tip, that shot won't go. Third time, no. This is almost criminal. Cottrell with a couple of offensive rebounds.
Stay with it long enough, eventually it'll fall.
That's the hope anyways.
And Cottrell comes on the other end and plays Windex and cleans off the glass.
That's just filth. Watch the replay. Watch, he's not in the picture for this split second. You think, all right, if you're Foster, you got a chance. No. And another ball right back the opposite way. Rolls off the rim. The left side of the rims, or left side of the floor, the rims have not been kind today. As Foster is going to be sent to the floor.
And Braden Freeman, he's still pleading his case with the referee, trying to get that foul from down on the other end of the court.
This will be one of the two games that St. Ed's will play here. They'll play Princeton tomorrow from just down the road.
Loveday coming in the game. He didn't get much playing time last night.
The Baylor signee out of Gallipoli, Ohio, just down on the river right across from West Virginia. It's the last town that you actually cross before you hit the West Virginia line. You can see the entrance sign and the Welcome to West Virginia sign from the same bridge. See, shot blocked from behind, looking for showtime. Out ahead, the quick layup for Freeman. At 18 points last night. He's got offers from the likes of Florida and Oklahoma State. Two drastically different programs.
Yes.
8-4 St. Ed's through the first 3 minutes. And out off of Grant Huffman's hand. He's long and lanky at 6'4". But what's crazy about it is he doesn't look that big when you consider the fact that everybody next to him seems to be 6'6" or 6'7".
Exactly. You know, speaking of height, you know, it's funny, Loveday comes off the bench and he's 7 foot. How many programs can say, yeah, I got a 7-footer coming off the bench?
And he came off the bench a year ago, too, and I'm pretty sure he grew. So I'm thinking he was listed at 6'11", or they're lying then or now. He just continues to grow. He's a terrific basketball player, but I believe he's battled some injuries. As now the tough take inside. That shot turned away by Christopher Ringfield. St. Ed's through the first half of this quarter. That's what they do. They keep coming at you. And high off the glass, it shot long in the long run. That's just kind of a crazy span right there.
It's been a tough shooting night for Freeman.
Nobody really got an opportunity at it.
Oh, what a take.
Montori Foster for two. He's got 5 of his team's 10.
You heard the oohs in the background.
I feel like those should probably be worth more. Coach Eric Flannery, by the way, a couple of nights ago picked up his 450th win. Last night he picked up 451. That is a lot. He would love 452 here tonight. 3-ball, offline. Isaiah Cottrell with it out ahead. St. Ed's couldn't get back quick enough to stop this foul. It'll be on Grant Huffman.
You know, he did get the foul. He did get the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot too. But I don't like that at all. That was a 1-on-3 fast break. You know, I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. Wait for some numbers.
15 points, 11 assists for A.J. Hogarth last night. And again, I said it last night, I love his shoes. Just about every color. It's like Skittles. They just threw a bunch of Skittles at his shoes. It's off the front of the rim. He missed a couple of free throws last night. Sorry, he didn't. His team did. He actually finished with 15 by going 2 for 2 from a line out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
And you put the jinx on. Now he's 0 for 2.
I think I inadvertently stated it backwards. 10-4. That's why I'm not allowed in Huntington, West Virginia. That and a couple other things.
Good people over there in Huntington. And I really like this Huntington Prep program. They've always been nice to me. I've enjoyed the Huntington Prep program throughout the years.
Big fan of Arkell Bruce and his program as he take by Huffman. Let's say he nearly had it blocked on 2 occasions. The 2 big guys down there made sure that this one wasn't going to get a second opportunity, as the reach from behind on Devontae Blanton will be his first foul.
Lakewood St. Edward's foul number 10, Devontae Blanton, his first, team's 4th.
So the 4th foul already against St. Ed's. Very physical team, as is Huntington Prep. Down inside, Loveday, the off-balance shot. I don't want to say that he missed it. It was altered by Ringfield. Here's a three, spot up from the corner. Off the back of the rim for Michael Bova. And here comes Loveday. Out ahead on the 2-on-1. Hogard, great last-second pass to bring out Freeman for two.
You know, that's the type of point guard that I like. I like when A.J. Hogard does that. He does that as opposed to going to one-on-three fast breaks.
I just happened to look up, and I saw a big white jersey and a big light blue jersey. Each guy might be bringing in a football player. A tough off-the-glass little putback for Chris Ringfield for two, the 6'7" senior. Out on that quick bounce. Jumper, baseline, finally Cottrell able to add to his points. Took him about 4 minutes. Cut the lead to 6-2 earlier, cuts it to 12-8 here.
You know what I like about Cottrell? He plays in the lane, but he can also go outside. He hit 2 threes last night. You know, the big man does have that range.
Quick succession, too. It's about 40 seconds in game time that he pulled that off. It's Montori Foster back out on the wing. And give away to Devontae Blanton. They call him Tay-Tay. I was reading about him on Twitter. I kept saying, who are they talking about? Devontae Blanton. Step back from the free throw line to Montori Foster.
You know, I'm not sure this guy's supposed to be playing football at Michigan State, but I'm pretty sure Izzo could find a place for him.
Yeah, that'd be at Michigan State, yeah. He's going to Michigan, though, is the problem.
I thought he's going, okay, see, look at you. That's why you're on top of this. I thought for sure he was going to Michigan State.
I'm in tune with my Cleveland people. I spent enough time there. The long, I'll tell you what, though, if Devontae Blanton didn't get in front of that, I think Michael Bova had a chance of putting two in the back of the net. And as they come in, they keep coming in bigger.
Yeah.
Brendan Raines, the 5'10" senior, he's not who I'm talking about. You see the other gentleman in Zachary Chapman, the 6'5" senior. And somebody has got to fact check something for me because he's listed as 6'5", Loveday's listed as 7'1". When they both stand up, it's a little closer than that. 55 seconds left in the quarter and a 14-8 St. Ed's lead.
Who's listed at 6'5"? Zachary Chapman?
23, yep. Look, right now, the two of them are up on the top of the lane here closest to your picture.
Yeah, he's 6'5". Yeah, they both stand up straight.
On the switch.
Chapman's just that whole lot wider body.
Kick back out for Mackie Johnson. Spotted up in the corner with the pink shoes on. He did not play last night, if that is in fact who that is. He's back up top, 3-ball straight away. Unleashed by Seni Nanche, who was in foul trouble last night for a good portion of the game. Here comes St. Ed. Step back on the 3-point line. The air ball right back underneath. It's not often you see a guy like Chapman, 6'5", wide-bodied, use the ball almost to create the separation.
And I love that heady play. You know, that's a big man understanding he's a big man and using that body to clear space.
Hockey for three, rolls off the front part of the rim. St. Ed's with the launch from the volleyball line won't come close. So 1 quarter down, it's 16-8 in favor of St. Edward over Huntington Prep here on SUV TV.
Next Sporting Goods, the cross-sponsor of Flyin the Hoops Basketball Invitational. And next week.
Sometimes the best place for care is wherever you are.
Hi.
In a row.
All right.
Sometimes expert treatment happens on a court, track, and field. Find Premier Health beyond the walls of our hospitals and in every corner of our community. Our care lives here. Premier Health.
Second 8 minutes up on the board. 16-8 is the lead. Mike and Sly back here inside the JST Arena, home of the Kettering Fairmont Firebirds. And on Monday night, they will finish things up here at the 18th annual Flyin to the Hoop. But right now, it is Cleveland soaring to the hoop to represent in the form of Lakewood's Devontae Blanton. Now an 18-8 lead. If you don't know, Lakewood just outside of the Cleveland area. It's A.J. Hogard for 2 off the glass. So you've got a Michigan and a Michigan State guy. Wow. Najee with the takedown. As you're going to see on the replay. St. Ed's probably hadn't been hit that hard since a successful football season. Whoop. Got him with the body.
You know, little man coming in the land of giants down there.
It's not little to me. He's 6'1".
Hey, that guy who was jumping against is 6'10", 6'11".
It's true. Shane Dezzoni into the game for Huntington Prep. 2 state titles for Coach Eric Flannery at St. Ed's. Bova knocks down the free throw. Eagles back on the defensive end, and if Brakefield had caught that clean, there's no more rims. They would break it off. Back with a big guy trailing him. Oh, he got the 2 on the roll. Michael Bova, no foul, but a creative use of the basketball to run the lead to a dozen. Watch this one. Judge for yourself about whether you think there's a foul. There's one.
Eagles foul number 5, Michael Bova.
Oh, you know what? He didn't touch him.
Yeah, he didn't touch him.
He didn't touch him. It really wasn't a foul. Good call by the ref.
Or good no call.
Yeah, there you go. We give the refs a lot of grief. But sometimes you got to give them credit when they get it.
But the fans are incorrect. The refs are right.
3 ball.
Jamin Brakefield. That's how he got started last night for 20 points. He's got a 3 here. 22-13.
And here's the thing,
Somebody lost a shoe.
I don't like that what the referee did.
Stopped it immediately?
Yeah, you don't stop it while it's in motion like that, He lost the shoe, so he'll deal with it. Kick off the other one and become even.
Well, and you know what's crazy is I've seen that happen in other games, and it's kind of one of those up to the official sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's up to the official when he stops that play. But you don't stop it until it's dead.
I've seen kids shoot with just one shoe on
Exactly.
St. Ed's right up and almost back in for Montori Foster. Looking for showtime. To the rack for 2, A.J. Hogard.
A.J. Hogard with the flush.
Gets the star for the flush. Again, there's not been a seminal standout dunk so far.
Nope.
And I got a feeling in the next 2 days it's coming. It might be now. Shane Dezzoni fouled on his way up. Knocked away on his way up. It's sad. Enough basketball this year, I just assume anything knocked out on the way up is just a foul. But you can see the hustle for Michael Bova. He's not going to let this. He'll come into your picture right here.
Oh, he got him all across the arm. Yeah, that was definitely a foul. He didn't even touch the ball.
We called the replay center. We're 1-1 right now.
There you go. Yep.
You can see the frustration in his face, but I kind of feel like he knew a little bit. Was like, all right.
I got away with one.
Just going to let that go. This, again, the second to last game of the night. Some would call it penultimate. The last being Grayson out of the state of Georgia and Wayne from just down the road here in Ohio. How about Montori Foster? We were talking a little bit about him. I'm told, well, they told me Michigan, and then now it says Michigan State. So I apologize.
I thought it was Michigan State.
The book says Michigan, of course.
Uh-huh.
The coach says Michigan State.
And that's the thing. I looked on.
I apologize.
You know why I know it was Michigan State? I looked on his Twitter.
I should have known to go to Twitter.
Go to Twitter.
That'll teach me to trust the material.
Twitter will let you know.
But he only played football his senior year. He hadn't played previously since grade school.
But football is the only sport you can do that.
Right.
Dezzoni with a
Clean
little
up for
lay in.
Dezzoni.
But football is the only sport you can just go and play for 1 year, and they realize that you're athletic enough and talented enough to play on the next level.
It's a good switch there from Bova. So I was wrong. That'll teach me to trust the material. Always trust Twitter. That's the takeaway.
The internet never lies.
Hogard, I don't know why he didn't give that one up. Decided he was going to be able to do it himself.
I guess he wanted to show his future Michigan State teammates
Right.
what he could do. Well, no, show his future maybe suite mate, maybe. They may stay in the same suite. Well, you know what? There's no more.
You can't say that. That's probably some kind of violation.
There's no more athletic dorms anyway, supposedly.
I have no idea.
Yeah, technically.
I haven't been to East Lansing in a while.
Technically, they don't. The NCAA doesn't allow athletic-only dorms anymore. Regular students can live in the athletic dorm.
22-19 now. Yeah, well, there's no more Boy Scouts either, but that's the whole thing. So Grant Huffman, who's still going to Davidson. Not Davidson State, no such thing. Inside, tough take for Foster. But he's playing well, was trusting himself, is up in traffic.
Come on, Hogard has to get a ball up. Hogard's been a ball hog. He's been a hog guard.
I was just waiting to see if the replay was going to pop up on the jump ball.
He didn't call foul on that.
No, he called a jump ball.
Well, I was looking down at my book, and I was thinking, okay, yeah, he called foul. We're going to go ahead and take it out. Oh, my
He's got to wipe the ball off. All right. It's a couple calls in this first half. The hanging shot no good for Freeman. Grant Huffman with the rebound. This seems like a tough guy name, Grant Huffman.
Yeah.
Right back to Huffman, wide open from the head. He takes an awkward shot, but his teammate's able to get the rebound and the wraparound. That's a playground shot. Guy hits that on you when you're playing horse, you just go ahead and take the letter. Through two guys on a reversal. Drop back into Cottrell with the slam. He picks up .6. Right back the other way. Cottrell with the foul on the other end. That's a hard foul.
But I like it, though. It's a good foul. You know, he went up, he went after the ball.
This will be the foul. He's kind of leaned his body, tried to cut him off. Montorie Foster at the line.
Boy, I tell you, I wonder what type of season he had at receiver to get a scholarship offer from Michigan State after 1 year. You know, I always say that, you know, football, you can play football for 1 year and get athletic scholarships, but usually they give it to you based on your potential and your size. And, you know, Montorie Foster, he doesn't look like that big of a guy.
Well, maybe the St. Ed's folks will help out.
Mm-hmm. St. Ed's folks, you know, hey, tweet us. Let me know.
Tweet us at Slide Sports Guy, at Michael Hearn PBP, at SUV TV.
Let us know what type of stats this young man put up on the football field.
It's a long kick back across for Johnson. His three hit Zach Loveday enough to take him down. That was it was the phantom shot. Oh, two terrific plays on the same, and here comes the highlight. Throw it down, Jamin Brakefield. They felt that one all the way in Chapel Hill.
I think we're a little let down by that dunk from Brakefield.
He and Loveday, who you think's getting this one?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take care of this. Bam.
So Loveday, is your job just to set a screen. That's all you're going to do.
You're the trailer. Make sure nothing bad happens to me.
Exactly.
And he knows what he's doing. And just inside the free throw line with the right hand. He's going to get another opportunity as we go back live. His team down 25-23. Pull up for three in the lead. Got it.
Boom. Beautiful. Oh, they're going to say his foot was on the line.
So it's how he got to that point even. Three on the other end, and he got a finger up. All three of them, actually. Michael Bova for three. It's a shooting bonanza. Loveday, one bounce for three, no. Cottrell with a rebound, back to Loveday, trusted him. Lost it out of bounds. Just took the contact.
Returning to the lineup for the Eagles, number 3, Steven Logan.
And at Loveday again, not able to have that workout. I thought it was going to be a different word you were writing down. But yeah, he's listed at, we're talking about Foster, 6'2", 175. Had a handful of really nice touchdown receptions on Twitter.
You know, the one thing, about being up here is it's hard to tell, how tall these guys really are.
Right, and what they're listed as.
Oh, yeah. No,
I mean,
who believes the listed height?
Mikey Johnson, again, did not play last night. Also missing from Huntington Prep's lineup, Dudley Blackwell, the Iowa State commit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a much different lineup for Huntington Prep 24 hours after they played here in this building. Not even, really, because they didn't play till after the 8 o'clock hour last night. St. Ed's used to playing about this time. 3 ball from the corner. Money ball for Stevie Logan.
That's beautiful ball movement right there by St. Ed.
And it goes to show you as the alley-oop, too strong. Loveday with a rebound on the stick back for his first 2. But it goes to show you what hitting 1-3 if you're Michael Bova does, because now you draw the defense out. The other guy's got to be open. You can facilitate him getting a 3. St. Ed's working well here. 3 ball way long. Loveday forces the tie-up with Zach Chapman.
Now, Chapman has a frame on him. I think Chapman plays a little bit of football.
And for the Irish, number 2, Breon Freeman. Shane Dizzoni. And number 12, Sinai Enja.
I was reading about Montorie Foster. He said he would come into the gym and shoot at 6:30 in the morning next to the football team who were working out, and they would all harass him because he hadn't played football after his junior year when he came back. And he finally just said, all right, that's fine. I'll show you guys what's up. Chapman for 2. Had a heck of a year, and everybody prospered.
There you go.
But it's just, I love those kind of stories. Multi-sport athletes who come back, and they're so good at everything. That's Cottrell from the baseline for 2.
Good shot by Cottrell. Here's the thing, man. You have so many kids say, I want to specialize. I just want to play one sport. But here's the thing, man. You can play all sports, man. You can play multi-sports during the year. Oh, well, playing with them outside on the perimeter. But you play multi-sports. You go and look up the number 1 draft pick in last year's Major League Baseball draft. I forget his name. But he's the starting quarterback for the state championship team in Texas. Look at that. Multi-sport athletes, man. You can do more than one.
By the way, one of the first games that he played as a football player, he had 120 yards at receiver. They actually, St. Ed started him as a corner, thinking he wouldn't have to learn as many things. He could just play man defense and beat his guy down the field. But he did such a good job, they put him in, and MAC schools started calling, and eventually he worked his way into a Big Ten offer.
Look at that.
So a 2-point lead at 33-31 with a minute to go. St. Ed's, they're so good. Like magicians with a basketball and the stick back. Somebody call Chapman. Get him some kind of offer. The senior has got 6 points off the bench, too. 35-31. It was just a minute ago, it feels like the Brakefield tied the game with his own 5-point barrage. Back rim 3, no good. St. Ed's with a rebound in their first of 2 games. Foster. As Michael Bova. And the up and under. And the over. Get to look at it again. See what you give this gymnastically. I'd say about a 7. He's thinking, please, nope, never mind.
He didn't stick the landing.
And I love the reaction from Bova. Just put his hands above. All right. What was I supposed to do with that? Daniel and his buddies down there just laughing in the crowd. So the key in will come from Grant Huffman, the Davidson signee. 30 seconds left in half number 1. And St. Ed's coming off a handful of wins, including a big one last night. This is a team expected to do big things in Division I. Down to 15 seconds. Now as he ducked through for Grant Huffman. Huffman down to 11. 10-9 as he dribbles left. Back out with 8, got through. Freeman pulls up from the corner. Shot won't go. Knocked down to the baseline. The turnaround at the buzzer. No. That was a good look for really nothing happening for Michael Bova.
You know, tough shot, man. It's hard, though. You got to shoot over a 7-footer with extended arms. That's a tough shot for anybody to make.
So we go into the halftime break. 35-31. St. Ed's on top here at Flyin to the Hoop.
Sometimes, care lives in a pen, a symbolic badge of honor, and a comforting promise to deliver the highest quality of care to every patient. And it doesn't just live in one of our hospitals, but in all of them. As Premier Health is the only adult health system in Dayton to receive magnet recognition for nursing excellence. Our care lives here. Premier Health.
Day number 2 and a terrific matchup between a team ranked in Division I in the state of Ohio and Lakewood St. Ed's leading Huntington Prep 35-31. Might get slide back for quarters 3 and 4. And you look at St. Ed's, the pedigree's there. 20 Sweet 16s, 12 Elite 8s, 11 Final Fours, and a pair of state titles coming in 98 and the last in 2014. And I got to see that 14 team in person on the floor in Columbus. Woo-hoo. They were good. This team would match up interestingly against them. They get Princeton. They get the double dip here this weekend before heading back to the land where they well represented. You have the Lou and the land.
The Lou and the land.
Lakewood and Lutheran East represented both in the in and around the greater Cleveland area. As Huntington Prep will start the second half with the basketball and immediately a foul. If you had 14 seconds on your second half foul bingo card, you win.
There you go.
Absolutely nothing. But my respect, I guess. You also know way too much about high school basketball. Second foul on Brinkfield. Wow. They're now heckling Brakefield to the term of overrated. I don't think that applies. I don't think that's a thing. I mean, I don't like Duke as much as the next guy, but they're getting a good one.
It might just be a team chant for Huntington Prep. They might be saying the whole Huntington Prep team is overrated.
I bet you it's kids that aren't even, they're behind Daniel, and he's down there laughing.
Oh, yeah.
But I bet you it's kids who aren't affiliated with either school.
Without either school, I guarantee you.
The one extra bounce caused the foul. Eric Flannery, by the way, the head coach at St. Ed's, talked about how he just picked up his 451st win a night ago. Has his own podcast.
Okay.
It's terrific. I listened to it on iTunes. It's called Worthy of the Jersey. He gives his take on different things that impact the world of basketball. And the last one was about, he talked about specialization, about zones, about different ways to maybe attack. But a terrific listen if you get a chance before they play tomorrow. I don't know when they record it, if they'll get a chance to talk about this weekend, but I would imagine at some point. Because they've got a busy weekend of 3 games in 4 days. Creating separation, A.J. Hogard. I'm not sure what he was doing afterwards.
That's the too small sign. That means you're too little.
I'm not hip enough to get that.
You got to catch up with the kids, man. You got to stay in touch.
3 from the corner, no good. Second shot for Blanton won't go either. Again, if he went to CSU, here's the trailer 3. Hogard with 5 quick points. Ties the game at 36. Apparently, he's still too small.
Too small to guard him. And look at Hogard with the steal.
Ooh. Wouldn't have counted, but it would have looked beautiful.
You know, is that intentional? Because
that's what I was going to say, a clear path foul. He just reached out and grabbed him to prevent the highlight.
Because, he wrapped him up. Yeah, I think that's intentional, man. You know, he might think he's still on the football field playing cornerback out there.
We can see.
Yep, intentional. They're going to call it.
It'll be the first on Montori Foster.
See, here's the thing what a lot of kids don't know or don't understand. If somebody has you beat like that and you want a foul to stop the play, go ahead with the hard swipe. Go ahead with the real hard swipe and put it in the referee's court to call the foul.
And over on the other side, Christopher Ringfield trying to explain his case to his head coach.
Yeah, you're not going to get that one.
Free throw for that second set for Hogard, up and good. They don't care if it's Hogard or Jamin Brakefield. They're still chanting.
Yeah, I think it's a team chant.
They're just trying to get in their head. A lot of individual action for 3. Off the front of the rim and the rebound. Why not? The guy who started the whole thing in Montori Foster. He'll kick it out ahead. On the run comes Huffman. Tough to the glass. No, his own teammate got it over him. And ultimately, that's an awkward sequence. Fouled from behind by Freeman.
Irish foul number 2, Brown, Freeman.
Yeah, Freeman got the wrist. But, you know, technically, on the playground, the wrist is a part of the hand.
That's where I spend most of my days.
Yes. The hand is a part of the ball. The wrist is a part of the hand. So,
and the rim is usually a part of the free throw.
Came up a little short.
Christopher Ringfield did draw the rim. And that never fails. That happened in the last game. An air ball in the first, and you nailed the second one.
All you're doing is lining up the shot. That's all. Getting your strength meter right.
Right. It's hard to hit that extra little button on the line. Free ball, back rim, no good. And rebound back to St. Ed's as they cruise back up the floor behind at Montori Foster. Like you said, he might be going to play football, but kid's a heck of a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Been impressed as the foul count continues to line up. That'll be the first on A.J. Hogarth.
Yeah, he really impressed me on the basketball court. I was just really surprised. They said, he's a football player, and the guy didn't play football.
Right. Just for a year, they rented him, and the blocking foul on the baseline. Like I said, the foul count mounting up. And it's gotten a lot warmer in here, by the way, during this game.
Starting to fill up.
People are coming in. Wayne plays in the next game just up the road.
That Wayne crowd is coming in.
Not that far away at Huber Heights. Devontae Blanton will back it out.
So the H isn't silent.
In Huber Heights?
Yep. We have a street in Columbia called Huger. There are about 10 different pronunciations depending on what side of Columbia you're on. It's Huger, it's Uger, it's Hugie.
Somehow the save for Huffman. Huffman now, great pass at the last second.
You love how he just draws the defender out and then he shovels it over. That's a great basketball move.
He looked with his eyes to get Blanton his 10th point. But no, they're not silent. Isaiah Cottrell's first points of the second half. West Virginia commit puts 11 on the board and his team up by 1.
Good find.
How does that pass get there is my question. It took an extra bounce and Stephen Logan drops it in. And we're continuing the theme of getting out and running.
Freeman is having a tough shooting night. I would love to see his shooting percentage for the night.
St. Ed's had a 4-on-3. They were able to pull up from the elbow. Shot no good. Rebound back down to Desani and thrown away. Up on the trailer, 3-on-2 to the basket. No extra points for Grant Huffman.
Couldn't stay in.
Big fan of his game. Well, we get to see St. Ed's play twice. Get to see both these teams play twice this weekend. Clock stops at 4:30. Up on the toes, Huffman for his third point. Eagles go number 4 in the AP poll in Division I, ranked number 1 in Cleveland.com's top 25, and that is generally a really good barometer in the greater Cleveland area in Division I of who is truly good, because they rank it without division. As the second free throw, no good, and ends up out of bounds.
I'm a fan of all states having one champion. I know it doesn't. A lot of people don't like that.
How would that work in Georgia, though?
Well, Georgia, technically, we have 8 classifications. We go up to 7A, and then they have a separate 1A private. That means for what I would consider 1 week after each classification plays their championship, you get all 8 champions.
Are you saying just in basketball or every sport?
Well, in basketball, just basketball. It couldn't be done in football. It'll take too long.
So does the college football playoff?
That's a whole other story. College football, you can play that college football playoff in January.
Isaiah Cottrell, the second 3 in the quarter. 43-42 now.
High school football, you can't play in January.
And again, this is a squad in St. Ed's that's got high aspirations this year, and a lot of it thanks to that guy, Montori Foster. He's got 11. Double figures for everybody. 45-43.
In the state of Georgia, after you have your classification championships, you start off. The last championship is on, let's say it's on a Saturday. Then you wait. You come back on Thursday. Oh.
Almost blocked it in.
Come back on Thursday, have your first round of the championships with your champions. Oh, no foul. Nothing. They're playing hard.
Here comes St. Ed's with a 4-on-2 advantage. The double clutch, I'm shocked they didn't call that a travel.
It should have been a travel.
Stevie Logan right through as he pull back into the corner. Foster, he'll pull it. Shot short. Great individual work by Brakefield. And the behind the back, little sunshine. Still 5-on-2. And eventually the basket. It's got to go in eventually, right?
Eventually somebody will score.
Stevie Logan with the basket. And Arkell Bruce and Huntington Prep with a timeout. 2:46 to go in the third, a 30-second timeout. You look at the last game of the night coming up. Talked a lot about it. The Rams of Grayson taking on the Warriors of Huber Heights Wayne. And tell us a little bit about Grayson as you go into this game.
Well, Grayson's #1 ranked team in the state of Georgia. They only have one loss. They lost to a region rival in overtime, 84-80. And they came back last Tuesday and beat Newton by 50 points to avenge that loss. Very talented squad. They have one of the top point guards. I think the #9 ranked point guard in the nation, Devion Smith, Sneak God. That's his Twitter name. I love Devion. A high-flying point guard, a bit undersized. They have him listed as 6'1", but if he's 6'1", I'm 6'4". You know,
He's not 6'4", by the way.
But here's the thing: I've never seen a point guard go after rebounds and dominate the boards the way a point guard does, and especially, someone being that small. Tenori Lane plays like a grown man. He's 6'5". He has a body like he's been a boxer for years. Oh, what a shot from up top.
Speaking of boxing, there's another punch thrown by Jamin Brakefield. His first point of the half, 12th overall, and it's still a one-point game.
And then Grayson to Nori Lane, and then the one who makes him go, Caleb Murphy. Oh, look at the three on the other side.
Over to Blanton for three. 50-46. By the way, looking at Huntington Prep, they get Cincinnati Woodward next Saturday. They go to Northeast Ohio for the play-by-play classic. And an offensive foul. Isaiah Cottrell had to ask about that. He said, "Sir, do you want to visit Vegas where I'm from? Please take away that foul." Actually, I'm wrong. That one is actually in Wilmington. But then they also get ISA. We saw them last night in Northeast Ohio. That one is the one where they go up north. See what can be done here as the substitution brings in Brennan Raines for the second time. Raines was looking to shoot. Then he found a 6'5" gentleman in his way. Smart play.
Usually make you change your mind.
Tell you what, though, Brakefield is hustling. Gets called for the kind of the punch foul from behind, trying to dislodge the basketball from Michael Bova. Fouls are 7-2 against Huntington Prep, as Brakefield now with, depending on who you believe, 2 or 3 fouls.
They got him down 3
I have
on
2.
the board.
He said 2. The board says 3.
We've been having some discrepancies with the board.
It's not even a technical difficulty because it's not our technical. Bova now 3 for 3 from a line. He's got 8. Use the hashtag FTTH2020. A lot of folks have been doing that. A lot of good content out there about these games. A lot of talented writers in the building. And some stuff we put out too. We're all right. See what A.J. Hogard will do with the basketball. Passes it up court for Johnson. Johnson kicks it back into the corner, up on the toes. Cottrell goes to the basket. Tough off glass. And while he was in the air, said, "I'm just going to go ahead and just push that one in."
Go ahead, get the tap in. Play Moses Malone, tap, pad my stats a little bit.
Happy Gilmore, just tap it in. It's another switch. Leads to Huffman being open in the corner. Takes to the basket, and I believe Zach Loveday is going to be the angry young man who gets nailed with a foul. That is the 8th foul against them.
Grant Huffman at the line, shooting 2.
Second time at the line for Huffman.
Huffman's been
down the front.
relatively quiet. I got him down for 4 points on the night.
And number 3, Shane.
Expect a little bit more out of Huffman. You know, he's another one of those guys who can put it in the hoop.
Hogard and Loveday both just went to the bench and both had their heads down as they walked into the bench.
It's one of those ones you don't want to look at coach or talk to coach.
You don't want him to talk to you, I think it's more of the thing. Huffman puts down a pair of free throws. Again, Eagles at 10-1 on the year. So now with 1:05 left in quarter number 3. Shane Dezzoni with a long pass back across to Freeman. Huntington Prep creating space like you would if you're trying to run the clock out. Just maybe make somebody make a mistake defensively.
Eagles foul call number 33, Brennan Raines.
That will be on Brennan Raines. That'll be his first. Third against his team as up comes Christopher Ringfield. Had a pair of fouls in the first half.
Number 24, Christopher Ringfield.
Raines and Brakefield, or the defender rather, in Ringfield now switch. As a shot. You got to feel frustrated, I think, a little bit if you're Huntington Prep. You're obviously within what you can do in no time in terms of 6 points, but the shots that you're used to getting just aren't there.
Mm-hmm. You can't seem to find the shots that you like to take. You know, it's a credit to the defense, though.
Yeah, the Eagles have done a good job playing a mostly man, but switching up. And they're not pressing a lot, but they're providing just enough pressure. So it's swiped right out of the hands of Huffman on the opposite way, and a foul on a ball rejected into the front row.
Let me ask you a question. Did he travel before they fouled? Let's see how many steps he took.
It'll be on Montori Foster trying to beat Freeman to the basket. I don't see where the foul is on.
Because here's the thing. The contact came from
the offensive player.
Yeah, from Freeman putting his hand out, you know, creating space.
Returning for the Eagles, number 10, Devontae.
And to me, that can't be a foul on the defense. You can't call a foul on the defense if he's clearing
for
space
simply
by
being there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can because it just happened.
Well, yeah, you can't. Yeah, a referee can do anything he wants.
18 seconds left in the third.
What you shouldn't do and what you can do are always two different
Freeman
things.
rattles one home for his 6 point. Yeah, we're not trying to be hard on the official. We're just pointing out what we see.
I am.
54-50. Chance for the Eagles to go in up 3 possessions to start the fourth. And a one-man band all the way to the basket in Blanton has his shot turned away and a foul. Foul-o-rama.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough foul right there. They're only going to have 5 total team fouls. But if this comes down to a close game, they might regret that foul, giving it up a little bit earlier. You know, that'll send them to the 1-and-1 a whole lot closer.
We'll also keep in mind it's the third on Montori Foster. The shot nips the backboard. Quarter 4 coming up, 54-50, St. Ed's here at Flyin to the hoop.
Sometimes the best place for care is wherever you are.
Hi. In a row. All right.
Sometimes expert treatment happens on a court, track, and field. Find premier health beyond the walls of our hospitals and in every corner of our community. Our care lives here. Premier Health.
Start of quarter number 4. At Michael Hearn PvP, at Sly the Sports Guy here with you. That's how they do it on the big networks. That's how we're doing it.
We are the big network.
We're just Twitter now. The three from the corner is not. That's not going to work. And a foul. Well, I mean, might as well.
I'm having hard press trying to figure out what's a foul and what's not a foul in this game.
I know nothing. It's like trying to figure out a catch in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a thing. 4-point lead here for the Eagles. That'll cut it to 1. If it goes, it won't for Brakefield. He's got to be feeling a little frustrated, though. The way that balls just have not gone the way he's used to this weekend. He's a good shooter. He just hasn't been able to catch a rhythm.
He has been Mr. Virginia basketball for the past 2 years.
Out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, where the rims are friendlier and you don't get broken off by Montori Foster. Back inside, the big guy off the glass, and Plinko's at home is Chapman. First points of the half at a 30-second timeout. 56-50 with 7:11 to go. As you see, watch how long after he puts it up. This ball hangs up forever. Hits the rim. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 seconds. Just let it roll.
Mike, you do know that was in slow motion, that replay was.
But in real life, it hung up about that long, too, is what I'm saying. The way that it hit the side, and I felt like he was trying to clean every part of the rim.
Oh, there you go. No.
St. Ed's again, double weekend. I get that. But I'm just saying, I felt like watching it with my pen in my hand about whether it was going to go down or not, I thought, so how long is that ball going to hang up there? And it's a big basket because it was a good play for St. Ed's coming out of that dead ball. They tried to shoot the three, and I don't know how many times that we've talked about offensive rebounding and boxing out.
Oh, God.
Ad nauseum. That's how everybody else has got to feel. Hogard back into the game, playing with some fouls, kicks it cross court. Isaiah Cottrell to Jamin Brakefield for 3. Brakefield's got 3 of those and 15 points.
The thing is, man, if Brakefield heats up, he has to just this weekend hadn't been his weekend getting in that zone.
Well, and Shane Dezzani on the way. But it's weird, too, because you talk about it that way and you talk about how this game has come and gone. It's a 3-point game.
Mm-hmm.
But at times it feels larger than a 3-point lead.
Well, at one time, St. Ed did have it up to 11 points at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the largest lead they had was 11. And then actually Huntington Prep came back, and Huntington Prep took the lead briefly. Huntington Prep, I think
about 10 seconds, I think.
Mm-hmm. They had a 1-point lead or a 2-point lead for about 10 seconds.
Second free throw, smooth for Montori Foster. Again, for a football kid, we're talking a lot about him on the basketball floor.
Mm-hmm.
13 points in the game. Is the way that this tournament goes? You have kids come out of, you don't want to say nowhere, but you talk about 4 or 5-star kids. There's 20 of those here this weekend as the thing works out. Freeman. Florida would love to have his services. Racing through on the miss and staying with St. Ed's. But you talk about that, and I forget who it was earlier on tweeted, one of the kids, who cares about stars if you can't make shots?
Exactly.
I thought that was pretty smart for a high school kid.
Mm-hmm. He stole that tweet from me. I posted that tweet over a year ago.
Probably.
No high school kid thought of that.
Well, he probably read it in a book somewhere. Keeps the ball off.
Mike, I'm sure he stole it from me. I have a whopping Twitter following. 1,600 people.
I'm trying to understand how that ball was off of Devontae Blanton when it clearly hit a blue jersey afterwards.
1,859, I'm sorry.
I'm just under 2,000. It could have been me. 3 from straight away. Ties up this ball game. Brakefield. We talked about the microwave and about if he gets going. He just tied the ball game, and there's still 6 minutes to go. St. Ed's now working inside That ball just abused.
And that's the thing. If Brakefield heats up, man, it can be problems for everybody. If Brakefield heats up. He is a shooter. He's such a dynamic scorer, man. Brakefield, you don't get offered a scholarship to Duke just because you're good looking. You get offered one to North Carolina because you're good looking. But, yeah, Duke, you got to know how to play ball.
Apparently you don't have to have talent.
According to Roy Williams, there's not much talent at Duke.
The joke of that is that he's making fun of me because I'm a Carolina fan. Tell you what, we'll go back to Lakewood next week. The 3 halfway down and out. A lot of terrific places to eat on the strip there in Lakewood. Right down from where St. Ed's actually is.
Lakewood, Ohio.
They step back for the lead. No. And here's the guy we haven't heard from in a while, Michael Bova. Played a furious first half.
How close is Lakewood to an actual lake?
Well, have you heard of Lake Erie?
Oh, there you go.
So 25 minutes, 25 minutes, depending on traffic, which in Cleveland could be anything. But they've invented Cleveland driving, which is just taking 3 lanes at a time. So
I got you.
You know, you do that in Atlanta and gridlock.
Yeah.
4.5 minutes to go now. As check out Bova. If he hadn't lost the handle on it, probably could have done something pretty big. 3 ball.
Beautiful.
Montori Foster, that's his 3rd. He's got 16. It's 61-58. It's already just a couple of hours of being halfway through the 18th annual Flyin to the Hoop.
Oh, tough shot.
Freeman from an impossible angle. Big Scottie Pippen fan, I bet his parents are.
Mm-hmm.
Not him, because no kids know who Scottie Pippen is.
Exactly.
But halfway through this 4th quarter in a 1-point game,
that
ball at the feet again for 3. Montori Foster. You spell it M-O-N, a bunch of 3s, and then T-O-R-I-E. And look at it again. He keeps hitting that. They'll change his name to whatever they want. Just in front of the closeout. Held the hand up in front of his bench as he nailed this. Great ball reversal for 3.
You know what? I wonder if you sign a letter of intent to play football, and then come February you change your mind and sign a letter of intent someplace else to play basketball. I wonder how does that work?
I have no idea. You'd have to consult an agent or
well,
maybe one of the coaches in the building. Anthony Grant was here earlier on.
Wonder what the NCAA has to say about that.
Let's not open that door. We don't need those guys. Interesting situation too, because you've got height. Obviously, if you're Huntington Prep, you've been able to sort of stop anything inside. You brought Zach Loveday in a couple of times. He got beat once down low, but the outside has been what has worked for St. Ed's in the last couple of minutes.
Now, this is interesting. You saw on the camera a little bit earlier that Bova just was shoving tissue up his nose. He had a nosebleed, caught an elbow. Let's see if he comes in the game. Now, here's the thing. Because of the blood on the uniform, well, he's not even coming in the game. So Bova's going to be out. He'll probably be out these last couple of minutes while they're trying to stop up his nose. Look, he got his head leaning back.
He's got his head turned up, yeah.
Yeah.
Which later they'll tell you is like the worst thing you can do.
The worst thing you can do. You're supposed to tilt it forward.
3:48 to go. We'll see if he's able to come back as to the a foul on Zachary Chapman.
So I wonder if he caught an elbow or something to the nose, or the change in temperature froze his nose and caused it to bleed.
That could happen. I can see that.
It happens.
Yeah, nosebleed on flight home.
Yep.
Put it on an airplane. Free throw to near silence for Freeman. He did not garner an overrated chant. What does that mean? They don't think enough of him to say he's overrated? Kid's a heck of a ball player. Second free throw. As good as the first. He's got 6 in the quarter. And outside of Jamin Brakefield, they have all 12 of their team's points in this quarter. 3:30 to go in the 4th quarter. The noise you hear is from St. Ed's bench. That's a wind-up 3. I got to be totally honest with you. Full disclosure, when that left his hand, I did not think it was going to hit the rim, let alone tail back in.
I think when he shot it, I was ready to open my mouth and say that's a terrible shot.
Screwed it. That's a crazy shot. For him, I mean, it's perfect, but the rebound off the miss for Chapman. I did not think the wind must have blown it the opposite way.
Somebody opened the door in the gym. That breeze came through.
2:45 mark. Skipping the corner, big if it goes.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Massive. That's Grant Huffman's first make from the field in the second half. St. Ed's out to an 8-point lead. Again, ball reversal. You see work from the middle. There's 4 blue jerseys in the middle of the lane. Nobody near the shooter.
And what St. Ed's is doing now, they're showing you how to close a team out. They're showing you how to close a team out. A lot of times when they have a heavyweight like Huntington Prep on the ropes, and they're not, if you're not used to playing a heavyweight like Huntington Prep, you get nervous toward the end. You start, let me pull the ball back. Let me not take a shot. Let me rush a shot. Let me do something that I don't typically do. But St. Ed's, well-coached team. They know how to rotate the ball around, and they knock down the open shot. That's closing a game out.
Like I said before, there's a reason why this team is picked to do big things in the state of Ohio in Division I. And I said that a couple of times. We've got some of the best teams in Division I and Division II, the top 2 divisions in Ohio. Tomorrow we have a top 6 matchup. I can't wait. St. Vincent and Trotwood will go at it. Well, it feels like an annual thing because even when St. Vincent has played other teams here, they've gone to play Trotwood at different times, or Wayne, whoever they're not playing.
And look at the steal. Just hop it in the passing line.
That's one way to make the dream work. Oh, that's a great closeout by Huntington Prep. Now, knowing that he can't get there from here, Montori Foster gave it up to Stevie Logan. And here comes A.J. Hogard. I haven't seen him in a while because he's been in a little bit of slowdown mode. I was going to say foul trouble. He picked that one up early, but has not had a great night. He went to look for a guy to pass it to. There was no one there.
Got away with a travel.
That's the shotgun snap where the guy went the other way.
Oh, call the cops. What a steal. Give it up, man. What are you waiting on? You got to pass that ball off.
Shane Desani with the basket.
What? You're getting me frustrated up here in the booth, man.
That's filthy. Going to the floor, 2 guys in the way, and Foster makes it work. A long pass out ahead, off the glass for 2. Logan, 6 in the second half, 9 overall, and the lead stays at 8.
Right now, Freeman's doing too much. Freeman needs to come out of the game. And I hate to say it like that. Freeman needs to come out. The past 3 times he's had the ball, he's taking bad shots.
It's the, you say the Mamba gene? You want to make sure that it sort of goes your way? That's not what happened. Committed the foul. But he's one of only 3 guys that have a bucket in the second half, and he's one of only 2 guys. Brakefield is the other that has multiple baskets.
I'm pretty sure he shot more than everybody else in this half, too.
A free throw up and good for Devontae Blanton. Tate with a big game. Had 24 last night in the win against Lorraine. He's looking to put all that in this quarter. He's got 18 right now. It's a good weekend. 42 with 1 game to go. 1 minute remaining. Huntington Prep in their final game for this weekend here. Down by 10. This prolific Prep will get them last night, and nobody on the backside. What you can't see up here in the booth is it's being pointed out about Mr. Freeman not getting back on the defensive end.
He's still walking down the court. He's still walking. He hadn't crossed that. Now he crosses half court. You got to be kidding me, man.
St. Ed's is going to get to 11-1. I'm not sure why the foul.
Here's my thing. If you're going to shoot me out of the game, at least come back and play defense. You know, at least give me something on the defensive side of the ball.
Remember, though, still a high school kid. Still got a lot of time.
Sometimes you got to grow up and mature, man.
It's still, what, a 17, 18-year-old kid. Even they get frustrated.
But my problem is everybody can hustle. I got 3-year-olds that can hustle.
I agree with what you're saying, but if it was that big of a thing, his coach would probably, you think Arkell would take him out. He's got 14.
Down by 10, I'm pretty sure. He's like, hurry up, let's run out the street.
75-66, St. Ed's with a big win here on the second to last game of this Saturday night. Now it's final. Terrific performance by a handful of guys. Love the hustle from Montori Foster, Stevie Logan, Devontae Blanton, and the crew. St. Ed's now, Eric Flannery, 452 wins. He'll go for 453 tomorrow. And Huntington Prep will head back to West Virginia. 75-66 St. Ed's. Stay tuned. Last game of the night is a good one, as we've got a Battle of Ohio and Georgia coming up here on SUV TV.